Hello everybody and welcome back to I Bloom Cafe. This is a small joint where we meet almost every week to talk about those teeny weeny things in life which when stacked up can make the big picture not just beautiful but also meaningful. By now I'm sure you will all know how much of importance I lay on making our lives more meaningful than anything else. Truth be told, none of these things are new. And these are not things that we don't know. But often, in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, we forget them. And we need constant reminders and constant nudges to bring these nuggets of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding back into our lives so that we may apply them in making our lives better. Most of our stress is not because we don't know what is right for us or what we need to do. It's because we don't use them in our lives. We don't own them. It's not enough that you have money in the bank. The money has to be used. Only then it becomes yours. Likewise, any wisdom that you have but is not used purposefully is wasted. So my only attempt and my aim with this channel is to bring those little things back into our memory and to our life. I'm not going to give you any earth-shattering wisdom. As I said, these are small things, munchies, that will make our lives more beautiful. I've been writing for several years now, as many of you will know. By God's grace and with a lot of practice perhaps, putting my thoughts down on paper in the written form comes fairly easily to me. It doesn't take a lot of effort for me to express myself in the written form. But it wasn't always so. In the initial stages of my writing life, I've been very apprehensive. I have been very intimidated by letting people read my thoughts. It took a lot of time for me, a lot of auto-suggestion and a lot of self-talk. And then I cracked the code to not feel awkward, to not feel conscious before sharing my thoughts or my stories to the public. What did I do? Which is what I'm going to speak to you about today in this video. And then again, later, when I decided that I have to scale up my activities because I felt my writing wasn't reaching out to as many people as I would like to, I decided I must do videos. And here was the catch. I wasn't used to doing videos. I've never faced cameras. How am I going to do that? I've never been in public speaking. Of course, I can give tips on how to speak, but then I've never done it on stage. And that was petrifying. That's when I used my simple hacks to get over that fear and apprehension and that inhibition that I felt initially before I got on here and started my channel. I'm sure you have all gone through these instances too, when you have felt so intimidated, so overwhelmed at the prospect of having to perform, when you're called up to do something that you are not very confident about, when you have to participate in a certain contest, or you have to face an interview board, or you have to give an exam. That fear that grows in us has often held us back and stopped us from doing the best that we can. It's a fear which is needless but debilitating. I've gone through it. I know what it means and I've got over it. You're seeing me here today in front of the camera. Initially, very interestingly, I used to have scripts. And then I realized that having scripts was a deterrent. It distracted me because I had to stick to the script. So my mind was always back on the screen trying to see what was written there. And it's almost like, having the GPS guide you, but then you know the route, so you're confused whether to follow the GPS or to take your own route, especially when the GPS takes you on a different route than the one that you already know. So it was almost like that. Having a script in front of me was a big distraction, and I ended up taking at least 10 takes for every single video. And then I used my life hack at that point. And this is what it is. The next time you feel stressed or scared about having to go out there and put up a performance, whether it is in an interview or on stage or in an exam or in front of a group of people to make a presentation, I don't know, there are any number of instances that would make us want to get out of our shell and do a certain task, or even if it is to make a vital decision in life. The two questions that I'm going to tell you now will be of great help to you. So what are the questions? Question number 1. Will my participation in this particular activity or my decision bring harm to me and my loved ones? By which I mean, will it pose a risk to our lives, to our health, and to our well-being? If I have to put it bluntly, it just means, will it kill us? Ask yourself that. Will it kill us? And the second question, which is very important, very vital, but we often gloss over it. I have no clue why, but it's very important for us to ask this question. Ask yourself, will my involvement in this, will my going out there and participating in a certain competition or in a contest make me compromise on my values? Will it make me deviate from my belief systems? We all have our value systems. We all have our beliefs that guide us in our life. Ask yourself if doing a particular act can make you compromise on your core values. These two questions. If it will bring harm or jeopardize your survival, if it will make you compromise on your values, or whether your action is going to be in keeping with your values. These two questions are the ones that you must ask. And if the answer to these two is no, it won't kill me. No, it doesn't make me compromise on my values. If you have a no for these two questions, I don't see any reason why we must not step out and give life our best shot. What are we afraid of losing after all? Losing our face? Getting embarrassed? Making a fool of ourselves? Please understand that these are all fallacies of the mind. These are offspring of that thing called ego. Of course, it's a vast subject. Ego is a vast subject that we probably can return to on a later date. But we all know what it is. Why do we fear failure? Because we feel embarrassed. But why? So what? It won't kill you. Life goes on for you. There's always a second chance. You can always get up and then start running again. So what is it about? Losing your face? Who's losing whose face? There's no losing there. You have gone there. You have done something that somebody else hasn't even tried to do. So what are you losing? It doesn't kill you. You're coming back home. You're getting on with your life again. So what's at stake? So there's nothing at stake for us except our very own survival and our integrity. If these two things can be kept intact, I think we must all go out there and do what life demands of us. We owe that to this life. I hope it's very clear to you. There's nothing for you to be afraid of except losing your life, well-being and health and your core belief system. Keep them intact and go out and achieve your goals. Until I see you again in the next video, keep glowing and keep growing. This is your life writing friend, Asha.